Hello and welcome to the Fourth and Fierce podcast, football talk fierce and unfiltered. My name is MJ, your illustrious host. I'm so grateful to have everyone here. Anyone who loves football as much as I do, you're always welcome. And as I said, this is a fan cast. I'm a massive NFL fan, and this has more to do with me being a fan than it does me being an analyst, because I'm not that. I'm very grateful to have everyone who took the time to click on this video. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Doesn't hurt anything. Also, if you'd like to contact me, please feel free to reach out to me at fourthandfierce@gmail.com. It's the number 4 THANDFIERCE@gmail.com. Sorry, eyes insane. So let's just dive right in. We have actual football to talk about today, and you might see me grabbing water. I drink a lot of water, and this is my Lions cup I got from NFL.com. Anyway, we have real football to talk about today, so I'm super excited. At our first preseason game, my Detroit Lions. See my pen? I got a bunch of stuff behind me. Once I get this set up the way that I want it, I'll let you guys see it all. But I have a ton of Lions gear and like memorabilia. This jacket is actually a Lions jacket. You just can't see the back. But in any event, this is we had the Lions versus the Chargers. I still call them the San Diego Chargers. They're the LA Chargers. The game itself was kind of boring. The Lions got just like mollywopped. It got destroyed, but it's fine because I didn't know half the players on the team that were playing anyway, so it didn't bother me. But we did have some good things that we came out of this game. Like I said, I love the game. I'm a massive fan and I watch it all the time. One of my biggest things is player development. I want to see how a player progresses over time. And Trey Lance looked really good. Now, when you think about Trey Lance, you think about he was drafted by 49ers. He never really got an opportunity there. I think he got injured like game 1 or something some years ago. And then they brought in Purdy, or I don't really remember everything, but I'm pretty sure they went through a few quarterbacks that year. And then from there, he went to Dallas, which I barely remember him there because, again, he was behind Dak. He didn't really get an opportunity at either of those locations. So to get a chance to see him like really get out and see what he can do, it was really interesting to see. And I think he played well. Granted, he played a bunch of players' lines that I didn't really know, but he still played well. And that's what you want to see. This was a great resume builder for a player like Trey Lance, because there are teams who are still looking for a quarterback, or even a good backup quarterback who has a quarterback that does go down quite a bit. So you want to make sure that when you're watching these games, you're not looking to see a great game, because in most cases sometimes you do, but in most cases we're looking to see like how the player develops. And I do love a good football game regardless, and we're going to have real football this week. We might see some starters. Not a lot of them, but we will see maybe a series or two, get them warmed up and acclimated. We're going to see a lot of rookies, so we can get a chance to talk about, who's looking great, who's looking like they're going to transition. I'm interested to see Travis Hunter in the preseason. I'm interested to see Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. I just want to see it all. I'm just very interested to see everything that goes on. I'm interested to see Michael Penix Jr. play in the preseason. I'm just very interested in all the games, so we can come back and talk about all these once we get some more games that are just kind of like flowing through the season. Other thing in the NFL news is Michael Parsons. Now listen, I like Micah. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great player. He's a once in a literally a once in a generation player. This is not a player that you're going to get every draft. And I don't know what the holdup is with getting him paid. They got Dak paid, they got CD paid. I'm not understanding why they're not getting Micah paid. And it seems like it's getting a little like, I don't know, messy or petty right now. Excuse me, in the media. Excuse me. It's getting a little messy, a little petty in the media between him and Jerry, and I'm not loving that. Do that behind the scenes. We just want to see Micah play. And he is in training camp. He is on the field. Schottenheimer looked mad weird with the back hat and talk. It was just really, it's bizarre. Even for Jerry World, it's bizarre. But I think that they just get this man paid. You're not going to find another one. He did request a trade, which I find, if you trade Micah Parsons, I don't know how you're going to make it. I'm being honest. I understand everyone loves watching the offense. I love watching the offense. I think the offense is great in football games, but I'm a defensive girl. My favorite position is safety. You've heard me say it a million times. I don't think you can't win this way. It's been proven. if you look at all the Super Bowls, just the ones I've seen, the majority of the teams that wins, the team with a better defense, because you have to be able to stop the other team. Yeah, you can score, but if you can't stop them from scoring, then we're just gonna, it's whoever has the ball last. So you can't just let this guy walk out of your building. You need to get him paid. And he literally deserves to get paid. He's one of the best linebackers in the league. You're not going to find another one. You're not going to be able to replace him, period. So get him his money. And I don't understand what Jerry and Stephen Jones are doing. I have no idea why they always wait. Like, I think it was last year, they waited until like the game was about to start for Dak to get his deal. Like, this is all just, it's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And as a fan, I want to see Micah in the best position. Now, I want everybody who could come to the Lions. I would love to have him here, but we're not going to give up what we have for him. We're just not. I mean, we're just not. But there are teams that will pay and pay well to have a player like Michael on their team. Right now, he can't leave. And the fact that he's still on that rookie deal and you guys haven't worked out how to pay him, and he's literally been the best player on your team on the field for the time he's been there, I'm not understanding. I don't understand why Jerry and Stephen Jones are just like, we're not going to pay him. The other big trade request was Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. Now, that's a little different. I sincerely hope that they don't trade Terry. I think Terry's a great wide receiver. And when you have a player like Jaden Daniels, this is his rookie year, it's comforting to have a receiver who knows the game, knows the routes, knows the plays, and is going to be where he's supposed to be. And they got all the way to the NFC Championship. And he's an excellent top 10 wide receiver in the league. Argue with me if you want to. He really is. Terry McLaurin's very good. He's also 30 years old. Wide receivers don't have like a bigger longevity like some other players, but they have a decent one. So thinking about how it's gonna work over there if they let him go, it's kind of weird because you seriously can't count on Deebo Samuel to be your number one wide receiver. I just don't think he can do that. Now, I like Deebo. I think Deebo's great. I thought Deebo was great in San Francisco, but I just don't think Deebo Samuel is what you want to hang your hat on when you have a rookie like that, and he already has a great rapport with Jaden, and he's really, they complement each other really well. I would say just pick up another wide receiver, in free agency, or I don't know if they drafted one. I'll have to take a look back at my draft little notes. But I think that would be much better if they try to sign Terry. I don't think they are though. I mean, I've been around before, but I don't think they're going to sign him. I think he's going to end up leaving. And there's some great landing spots for him where he can really make an impact immediately, like the San Diego, I still call them San Diego, like the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers have Ladd McConkey, who's a great wide receiver, but he's a young guy. If they can get McLaurin over there and they have a 2 wide receiver set with Ladd McConkey and Terry McLaurin, and then I think that's a great scheme for them. I think that's a really good, with Justin Herbert as their quarterback, I think that's a great scheme for them because he's a pretty good quarterback. So I just think that would be a good landing spot for him. I've heard people say the Raiders. I barely know the quarterback in the Raiders. Like, the Raiders have kind of been all over the place since my main man Al passed, but I still like the Raiders. So those are the 2 big things in the news right now as far as the NFL and player movement. The other big thing in the NFL that kind of had my attention all week is ESPN is trying to acquire Red Zone and other NFL holdings. That is really very interesting to me because I love NFL Red Zone. I've had NFL Red Zone since its inception, and I used to have the direct TV where you get all the games. I'm not gonna lie, that's like very overstimulating for me because I have to like watch and pick, and am I looking at this one? Am I looking at that one? Am I doing that? It was just too much for me, where Red Zone just shows you all the good parts. And I loved it. I still love it. I still love Red Zone. It's one of the best, I want to say invention. It's one of the best programs they've come up with for sports. I wish I had another sports. Maybe I'd watch it. Maybe I'll watch more of those. But it's fantastic. It's great, especially when a sport like the NFL, where you do have a little bit more time between plays. You have 45 seconds. You have these timeouts. Like, plays can move. So you get an opportunity to see all the games. And I absolutely love it. The first half of NFL Red Zone is Elite TV. When they get to the witching hour, I am glued to the TV. The witching hour is like fourth quarter and all the afternoon games on Sunday, and it's just, there's always some drama. It's so fantastic. Football is my like reality TV. I love it. It just makes me so happy. But if ESPN acquires them, I wonder how that's going to affect us as a consumer and as someone who watches this channel. And what are the other holdings? And I knew something was going on with the NFL and NFL Network and ESPN, because I noticed that Peter, I think his last name is Schrager, left NFL Network, because I used to watch him on Good Morning Football, and now he's on ESPN. He was replacing Greeny. I'm like, whoa, where's Greeny? Because Greeny's my guy. Y'all know I got to get my Greeny fix in the morning. So something's going on here. And I mean, again, I'm not in corporate America. I'm not in behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on. But it does feel like there's going to be a lot of movement. And I think as fans, it's going to affect how we watch it, where we watch it. It's going over to a Disney it's Disney Holdings, because ESPN is owned by Disney. That's going to change a lot of things for us in Red Zone. And I don't know if it'll all be for the better. Like, I honestly, I like things the way they are, but I mean, it's not up to me. I really think that this move is I think it's gonna affect us, probably cost-wise, probably visually, not necessarily the quality, because ESPN has excellent quality. But I think, again, because they are a Disney holding, it's gonna take away some of those things we love so much about the NFL Network. Like Rich Eisen. I love Rich Eisen. I watched Rich Eisen and Stuart Scott probably before a lot of you all were born, on ESPN, on SportsCenter for years. And I remember when Rich left and went to NFL Network, and Stuart Scott stayed, rest in heaven, Stuart. But I really like Rich Eisen. Rich Eisen's great for the NFL, and he's great on the NFL Network. So I'm just interested to see how all this is going to translate and how it's going to work moving forward. If they do acquire them, and when they do, how's the transition going to go? Is it going to be this season? Is it going to be in 2 or 3 seasons? Are they going to do it slowly? I just need to know, because we, as fans of the sport, we want to be able to watch the product that we're accustomed to, and we want to watch it. We want to be able to see the games the way we've always seen them. We want to be able to track them. And ESPN does have some great technology and things they can do. I just don't want them to change things too much. You know what I mean? Like I said, I love my Rich Eisen. On NFL Network. That is my 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. on Sunday. That's what I watch. So I want to make sure that if it does come over, it's not going to be too messy. I just really want it to stay kind of the way that it is. I do love my NFL Network. But those are the big things in the news as far as the NFL goes so far. So I'm going to take a quick break because, again, y'all saw me choking. I'm going to grab some water. We'll be right back, and we're going to do my top 5. And we are back. I got my water. I told you guys I love this cup. I had another one that my son got me. It was really great, and I left it at work. And I left it on my desk, and someone took it out of my office. I think it was the cleaning people. So I had to get another one. But that other cup was so cute because it was all blue. This one I had to get in pink, but I still like it. Anyway, let's jump onto our NFL top 5. So this week in the NFL top 5, I'm doing my top 5 favorite owners. Now, I'm basing this on them as an owner and how I see and have perceived them treating their coaches, their players, the media, just all around. I'm not looking at their personal beliefs, their personal lives, or anything of that nature. So this is just my top 5 owners based on those 3 criteria. And number 5 is Jim Irsay. I like Jim Irsay. He owns the Indianapolis Colts. He got my guy Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is my favorite quarterback of all time. He took the place of John Elway. I loved John Elway. And I love Peyton too. And so when they drafted Peyton and he came into the league, it was just, Irsay treated him very well. He really did. He made sure that they got what they needed so Peyton could win. They did. I know people are going to say that defense wasn't very good. You're crazy. They had Dwight Freeney. They had a pretty decent defense. I mean, it wasn't the top 10. And they had my guy Tony Dungy, and I love Tony. Tony did the Tampa 2 down in Tampa. They fired Tony Dungy, and I still don't understand why they did that. And won the Super Bowl with his team. He went right to Indy and got his Tony's okay, but I love Tony Dungy. And Jim Irsay is, he seems like that type of owner who says, I may not know this, but you do, so let me get you in here so we can get this together. Like I said, towards the end of Peyton's career, it did bother me a bit that they traded him or let him go to Denver, but they did give him the opportunity to pick where he wanted to go. They were very grateful and gracious to him, but they had to move on. And they, honest to God, they've been flailing ever since, because I knew Andrew Luck was flighty. I said Andrew Luck was flighty when they drafted him. It's just the way he talked. I knew he wasn't going to stay, and he retired. And where is Andrew Luck now? I have no idea. I mean, he was an excellent QB, just fantastic. I think he was a great quarterback. He didn't seem like this is what was his passion and what he wanted to do, if that makes any sense. And to play a position like quarterback, which is like one of the most difficult things to play, you have to be passionate about the sport, and you have to be passionate about being a quarterback. You just have to be those things if that's what you want to do. So number 5 would be Jim Irsay. Number 4 is Arthur Blank. I love Arthur Blank. I love Michael Vick. And if you don't like Michael Vick, that's on you. I've always liked Michael Vick. But I like Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank has always been very good to his players. He's a very approachable owner. Again, he's one of those owners. I'm very big fans of owners who are who know what they don't know. And he's one of those guys. He's like, I'm a businessman. I own this team. I make a lot of money. I do this. I need to try to get the best people. Now, did he always know? The way they lost that Super Bowl to New England still makes me mad today. It still does. How did y'all blow that lead? 28-3. Every time I see that score, if I see it's 3:28 on the clock, it just upsets me. I just don't understand how they blew that lead. It was crazy. But, Brady and, who was it? It was Gronk. Brady and Gronk went crazy in that fourth quarter and the first Super Bowl overtime. But Arthur Blank has always been a very interesting guy, in my opinion. I love Arthur. He treats his players well. He's great. He's great in the media. He knows what he doesn't know, and he knows how to get people in that can come and make his franchise better. Plus, that's an excellent franchise, and he's always kind of been on the cusp there of getting back to those playoffs. That division is just weird. It's weird. They rarely, if ever, repeat division leaders. And I think Atlanta has a great opportunity to take the division this year. Tampa's probably the favorite because of Mike Evans, because of Baker Mayfield, who's come alive in Tampa. I thought he was good when he was in Cleveland, but that was just me. It was just Cleveland. But he really has come alive in Tampa, and everyone's going to give Tampa that division. I think it's going to be probably a 3-man race with Tampa and Atlanta and Carolina. Anybody can take it. The only team I don't really see doing much is the Saints. They still don't have answers at the number 1 position on the field, which is QB. So we'll see how that goes this year. But in any event, I love Arthur Blank, and I'm interested to see how Michael Penix Jr. does. As I think he's going to be the starter, and I'd love to see. I can't wait to see how he transitions and how he plays coming up in this 2025 season. My number 3 favorite owner of all time is the Rooney family. The Rooney family bought the Steelers, I want to say in the 1920s or 30s, for $2,000. And that has transitioned into like 6 Super Bowls, one of the most recognized and storied franchises in the league. Say what you want. Everybody knows the Steelers. Everybody knows Terry Bradshaw, Mel Blount, Lynn Swann, Jack Ham. Like Jack Lambert. Like, think about the people that played on the Steelers. Think about that steel curtain. Now, that's before a lot of your time and a little bit before mine, but I remember what the team was like. Like, it was so good. Like, he's always been an excellent owner. And think about this, the loyalty the Rooney family has, not just to the players, but think about the coaches. I believe since 1969, they've had 3 coaches: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That is a loyalty that a lot of teams don't have. They give their coaches opportunity to build something. They give their GMs opportunity to build something. Where in most franchises, if you don't do something in it's like college, just like 3 or 4 years and you're out the door. They're not giving you an opportunity to build something. And that's something the Rooney family, their loyalty will always make them top tier to me. The way that they treat everyone, and the way that they are loyal to you rarely, if ever, hear about contract negotiation issues like you hear from other teams when you're talking about the Rooney family in Pittsburgh. Like, I can't even think of one. And I literally watch football all day. But the Rooney family is one of those sports families that you just wish all of them were like that. I've always loved the Rooney family. So the Rooneys are my number 3. My number 2 is going to be controversial. It's Sheila Ford Hamp. And let me tell you why before y'all start yelling at me. I was an advocate for a family selling my team for decades. William Clay Ford owned this team and Martha Ford owned this team. It seemed, and this is my show, I'm a fan, and this is just my opinion. I feel like they did not care. I do. I feel like they cared about the fact that the games were sold out every week because they were. They didn't care that we weren't winning. They didn't care about having the best people. I don't think they really cared. They were just looking for, well, get somebody. What do you think? Get this person and we're in here. We're going to win. We didn't. And we flailed. We hadn't won a playoff game since like January of 1992. And I remember. We hadn't won a playoff game since like January of 1992. And I was upset. I was just like mad upset with the Lions because we were always on the cusp. We were always right there and we just never kind of got over the hump. I didn't like the coaches we kept picking. Like my husband loved, what was his name? I forget. But I was a Jim Schwartz girl. I loved Jim. Oh, he liked Caldwell. I didn't love Caldwell. He seemed very soft to me. I didn't love Caldwell. You know, I like Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz was defensive guy. He was, had Sue under him, and we had all these great players. And I just, Nick Fairley. I love that. That was a great line. But when the Fords passed away, when William Clay Ford and Martha passed away, rest in heaven. When they passed away and their daughter Sheila got the team, that's where you saw the difference. That's where you get the Dan Campbell. That's where you get, hey, I need the best people because we don't want to just be here. We want to be here and we want to win. And we didn't start really, I didn't think we really started getting into being a real franchise where people wanted to be, where coaches and players wanted to be until Sheila Hamp Ford took over. And I know she's only had the team for a very limited amount of time, but what she has done with this team so quickly, I just love her. And I'm so grateful because I get to watch my team be a winner. And I've been a Lions fan since the 80s. And I mean 1980. And I finally get a chance to really see them be something. And it just feels so good to have my team winning. Because when they were trash, well, people call them trash, when they were 0-16, when they were barely winning games, getting blew out in the wild cards of playoffs, not winning playoff games, I was watching every game with an attitude right here in this house. But now I get an opportunity. It feels like that loyalty, that fan base that we have here, because Detroit has an amazing fan base, and not just for the Lions. We have an amazing fan base for all of our teams, for the Pistons, for the Red Wings are big, for the Tigers. We have a massive fan base. We love our sports here, and we just wanted a winner so bad. And I'm so grateful that we are now in that conversation. We're getting there. So I really appreciate what she was able to do with this team so very quickly. So she's my number 2 owner of all time. My number 1 owner of all time is Al Davis. I love Al Davis. I've always loved Al Davis. Al Davis, to me, is what Jerry Jones wishes he was. Al Davis was smart. I mean, towards the end, he was like 90 or 80, but he's gotten older. But I'm thinking about the Al Davis of the 70s and 80s, the just win baby Al Davis. I'm going to get the fastest player. I don't care where they come from. I'm going to find them. The Al Davis from Brooklyn. The Al Davis that hated Pete Rozelle and kept suing the NFL in the 60s and 70s. Kept moving. Al Davis was probably the best owner of all time. He never had a GM. I think the first GM they had was Reggie McKenzie. I might be wrong, but somebody can look that up if you want. I think they never had a GM until he died. But he was, unlike Jerry Jones, he was smart enough to know, look, I don't know this, but I want to get the smartest person who does. And think about what everyone says about him. He was asked to introduce more players to the Hall of Fame, I think, than anybody, to be their like introduction person, the person that brought them out. Think about just him as a person. When he found out one of his players' wives had cancer, he got doctors from the Mayo Clinic to take care of her. Al Davis was an amazing guy. Everything I've ever heard about him is, yeah, he was tenacious and he didn't play games when it came to business and when it came to football, but he was a person who was just loving and helpful. The way John Madden talked about it, the relationship he had with John Madden is just elite, and I love that. And they were winning. I mean, you got to think who they were playing at the time. I mean, this is the Steel Curtain. This was back when the Cowboys really were America's team with Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson and all those players. So you have to look at where they were. That was like really different. That was a different type of football. That was a different era. Like they said, they changed the rules for the Steelers. So you have to look at where he was in that time, and he still managed to build a winner. And he stayed relevant. He's had, and I don't think he was treated well. Like I said, Kenny Stabler is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and he didn't get to Hall of Fame until he died because people are just mean. I can't think of why Ken Stabler didn't get to the Hall of Fame. Think about Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett has 2 Super Bowl rings. Y'all don't even know who that is probably. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't deserve it. I don't think he deserves to be there. I mean, just because you win 2 Super Bowls, you have to think of who else was on that team. But Al Davis is smart. He's smart enough to know what he doesn't know up until the day he died. And every player that talks about Mr. Davis, now not the coaches, I mean, because he didn't really love the coaches, which is funny after Madden, but every player that I've ever heard speak about Al Davis, they speak about him in like the highest regard. And they talk about him as just an amazing person in their life. So those are my top 5 NFL owners of all time. So that's all I have this week. Right now, we don't have much football going on. Like I said, we'll have some games. I think they start today. I have to look. But we have some games coming up this week. They'll be on NFL Network. I think there'll be a couple on ESPN2. The Lions games will be on, I think, the local NBC or ABC, so you can take a look if you want. But thank you all for spending some time with me this afternoon. I'm very excited to get back into the swing of things with football. As I said in the beginning, I'm very grateful for each and every click, for each and every view. Like, subscribe, follow, share with a friend. If you want to debate something fiercely with me about the league or about a game or something else that you didn't like, I'm fine with that. You can certainly email me at fourthandfierce@gmail.com. That's the number 4, THANDFIERCE@gmail.com. As always, I'm so grateful for every one of you, and thank you for watching my show.